Yeah, I bought this brew because of the sticker. The fucking the raccoon on the old timey bicycle.
Oh, that's what the fuck it was, dude.
Yeah, I have the same stickers. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, dude. So yeah, I got it because of that. There was like 2 other flavors. They didn't really ring with me. This one did. I'm like, ooh.
How have I not heard of this one? This is really good. This is a really good sour. It's not like super. It's perfect. It's got the right consistency. I was gonna say no, but then I remembered when I weighed myself this morning, I lost 3 pounds.
There you go, bro. It's your celebration. It's not even a tall can either. It's just a regular.
Exactly, dude. I mean, I'm gonna hit the gym anyway later.
Bro, just weigh yourself backwards. You got no worries.
just fucking put it on the ground, turn around, and take 2 steps back. Perfect. Carpet. That's what I weigh.
Dude, you just gotta give it the phone to me, and then I'll tell you, like, what your weight is. Or no,
I'll tell you.
You'll guess, and then I'll tell you ballpark. Like colder, warmer.
I'm so down, dude. I'm so down.
That way, it's at least fun to know whether or not you're failing or you're succeeding.
Or I'm succeeding. Yeah. Did you know what it is, man? I don't know what happened. I don't remember what point in time in the last like 3-4 months, but I had a candy bar, and dude, I don't know what happened to me. I was like, I just want candy now.
Oh,
and I've been buying like some Kit Kat bars and peanut butter cups, and obviously you see the fucking
Dove
eggs,
eggs,
fucking peanut butter. Yeah, dude.
Hey, but frozen shit. No, dude.
Dude, it's so good, but I'm like, I can't keep doing this, dude. Like, I have to, like, the snacking got super fucking hard, so then that's why I started buying pineapples, because I'll just eat, like, a good, maybe, like, 10 of them, and then I'm good. I'm safe, like, and it's healthy for you. Like, it's not anything super crazy. It's not a lot of calories. Like, it's fine.
You buy pre-sliced fruit? That's fucking... See, it's like the fucking... It's that Pajitsky effect, you know? Like, I don't have to cut my own fruit.
Dude,
I could buy that shit pre-sliced, bro.
Hold on. Look. I don't mind pumping out grapefruits. I don't mind pumping out lemons. I don't mind pumping out oranges. But when I have to cut something, dude, like, I don't even mind peeling oranges. I don't even mind peeling fucking kiwis, clementines, easy. Whatever, you know. But when I have to cut a pineapple specifically, that's pineapple. A lot of work, dude.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Pineapple became... It's not just a tropical fruit, dude. That shit's, like, up there with apples and bananas. Like, that shit is so common now. It's the common fruit. I'm so down with it, too. But it's just a bitch to fucking get to.
The other thing too is just fucking like when you're at the store. I don't know if you know how to pick out a pineapple, but what you have to do is you have to smell the bottom. Huh? Yeah, dude, you have to smell its ass basically, and if it's sweet enough, then it's good. Then you're good to go. If it's not sweet, then it's not ripe. Is that what ripe means? I've never really known.
Ripe
means
about
prime.
That sticker, dude. You're not ready.
What sticker?
The sticker I've been fucking hyping up all the whole time, dude.
Oh,
dude. But yeah, dude, this is a good beer. I like this one a lot.
Fucking
good sour.
Sours grew on me. It's sourer than blonde now.
Oh, dude, I've always liked the blondes. What are you talking about, dude?
heck
They're
yeah.
I like
any
my
time of the year. They're always great. Always. I honestly can't wait to be able to go back into a brewery.
I know, dude. I keep passing by the pub over here, and it's like, man.
Okay, hold on. I gotta tell you guys about this whole process, okay? Because you guys, it'll probably be the same for you, Gerry. But I went there this morning. I got there, I think, like 20 minutes early, and they were just kind of like, fuck it, whatever. Because everybody's kind of going in there, right? But the earlier you do it, the better, because it's not a long line. You have to wait 15 minutes afterwards.
Damn, we gotta be day drinkers now? Fuck.
Dude, I just gotta revert back to the old ways.
Dude, 11 a.m., I was like, that's close enough, bro. I'm cracking this can.
But yeah, so you get the shot, and then you kind of sit down. I brought my Switch with me, you know, because Octopath. And then you fuck off, dude. And then you fuck off, you go home, and you start your day.
So you get in there, you fucking just
get your
fill, and then you fuck off afterwards?
Yeah. So they ask you for your ID and your fucking confirmation, and then they tell you to move up, and they shoot you, and you go wait to see what happens.
All for the shot?
Yeah. I mean, my arm kind of hurt a lot earlier. Now it's like kind of calmed down. But I think that's also because I smoked some pot earlier too.
So do you feel no? But you feel that shit going inside you, right? Like it hurts going inside, or what?
It's like a normal shot, right?
No, it's just a normal shot, dude. Like I mean, I'm sure you've gotten shots before.
Okay, no, yeah, okay, I have, but a long fucking time ago. So I remember.
So it's like you get So if you don't remember completely, the feeling is like when you get a tattoo, except it goes in for like a half second, and then the bitch is done. Like she's like, all right, cool. And I was like, oh, wow, I guess it's been that long for me that I haven't had a shot that I guess it was that
exactly
bad.
That's what I'm fucking, because like every time I don't remember exactly how it is. Like when you get a shot, all I remember is the fucking feeling like lava going into my fucking veins when I get this shot, dude.
I think that may have happened when we were younger because we were way more hypersensitive to things, you know, like our bodies, because they're still fresh. But now we're fucking old and decrepit. Like you stab me with something, I'm like, what was that?
That's not gonna kill me.
Hey yo, who touched me? But yeah, dude. So yeah, it wasn't bad.
Wait till you hit the second one then.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying, man. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I had the poop. Fucking not the Pfizer, the Moderna. Yeah. I didn't have a choice when I signed up. I think it was this is for, or like, I think like certain. Well, I feel like certain locations they're like going to be like, oh, on this day we have this one, or we're going to have the other one, you know. So,
or they mix cocktails. It's Russian roulette.
Exactly right. It's like the wasabi takoyakis. You never know which one it's going to be,
and it's not even that bad when you get it.
But yeah, that was my morning, and then hop back on the Octopath Traveler because I just can't believe that it takes so long to get to that point. Like, you have to go through, like, 6 side quests, and then you finally unlock it. And then when you unlock it, you have to go through one more dungeon, and the only enemies in there are the last bosses of every single character. And then you fight the last boss. Phase 1, then there's a phase 2. That shit hard, dude. I guess I'm ready to talk about this now. Welcome back, everybody, to this month's BFM, your good old big fucking mood. We're just kind of dicking around. But this topic, I think I've wanted to talk about this guy for a while. He's definitely one of my favorite comedians out there. And the more I watched his movies this week and the documentary and his SNL skits, like the highlights, the more I'm like, wow, you really changed the pace for comedy, like for fat people. Like, not to be an asshole. but he really did. He really took it as a way and like made it his own.
Yeah, he made a career out of it. I think he'd be proud of it.
Oh, dude, 100%. And like there's certain points in documentary where like you can tell he's so happy with it. Like there's a point, I don't know if you heard it, Danny, where they were talking about that Chippendale skit, and I guess he had told somebody like, I don't know if I want to do that because then I'll be the fat guy. Then I'll, and then somebody was like, why don't you be that fat guy? All right. I got you. I feel it, We're talking about good old Chris Farley.
The first comedian. I don't know.
the first good fat guy.
Yeah, no, his slapstick is on point. Like it's really easy to fuck it up. Like that kind of comedy. Like, just to become really fucking loud and just break everything, it takes a certain finesse to do that shit funny.
Exactly. And I'm just going to go back to another part in the documentary where, one of the common things we see in his slapstick is where he falls on things, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was the producer of SNL was like, you can do that, that's fine, but you have to learn how to fall because you're gonna hurt yourself. Like, you are a big dude, like gravity is gonna hit you. Like, I mean, let's look at what happened to Tom Segura. Like this dude,
gravity folded him.
Gravity was like, dude, we're taking you for a ride, we're gonna turn you into a paper airplane. But
you okay there, buddy?
Hey man, you good? But like it wasn't just like the loud obnoxious thing, it's like you said, it's the slapstick and combining it all, and I can honestly say that when I think back to other comedians and like just comedy of that time, I could see how a lot of people like tried to adopt what he had done, And for better or for worse, it worked out for him. Who knows? I'm not going to name drop because I can't remember the names. But it was just so successful for him. And like when I watched Black Sheep and then Tommy Boy, and they're basically the same movie.
Yeah,
like the premise is the same. The main difference is that in Black Sheep, you see way more of an acting range for Chris. Like he is a moron, but he's a moron who does things in his own way to be like the good salesman. But like
a moron with
that,
heart.
Exactly, and like the one thing that I noticed the last thing I watched was the documentary. I watched all the movies first and the SNL skits. And one thing that one of his brothers was saying was that Black Sheep was kind of like a memoir to his family and like his father himself. Like the way that his father is played or portrayed in Black Sheep, that's like his actual dad in real time. And I was like, that's pretty cool, dude. Like your first big movie, and you were able to not only show your range as an actor, like with your comedy and like just everything else that you could do with your bits, but also keep it real to you where, you're probably going through some things while acting out this role with this other actor, with your own family and all that kind of stuff. So, the more that I think about his bits and the way that he did things for his bits, I'm like, he really had a lot going on in his head, and you can definitely see it. Like, especially in the Chris Farley show skits on SNL, where he's like, "Oh, do you remember when this and that?" Like, that's full on him, dude. Like, I think they said in the documentary that he was trying to do a bit, but it was the most honest bit because that's really who he is. He's this like really full of anxiety dude, who doesn't really have a lot of self-esteem. And he looks at himself in a really poor way, right? But he'll play the role phenomenally well. But I mean, it just kind of goes back to the whole fucking like, I forgot what I was gonna say. It'll come back.
Oh
to me.
my god!
Wait, what was I talking about? It's okay. I'll come back to it. We'll come back full circle.
We'll circle back.
But anyways, I really like. I think the only film that stands out from the rest of them would probably be Black Sheep. Because Beverly Hills Ninja is kind of also the same thing, like as Tommy Boy. He's the moron. Things kind of work out for him in their own way. And I didn't see Coneheads because I heard that the role was pretty minor in there. Mm-hmm. But like all the other movies that he cameoed in was kind of like the same role. Like was it in Billy Madison? He was the bus driver, and he was just the super loud like.
Chris Farley.
He was Chris Farley, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And just like him being able to build up that trope, R.I.P. to the guy, like it's still carried on today, and it's great to see. Like you love to see it, and I think, and I don't know, like I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that he was the first one to do the "Jack me off" line, and I think it was in Black Sheep where the officer pulls him over and he's got David Spade in the back as they're trying to go and, save his brother's fucking election. And then and they're fucking high off the nitrous gas. And the officer's like, "What's your name?" And he goes, "Jack." Last name, me off. And then he literally just like turns over. The camera turns over to his face looking at David Spade like, "That's a good one."
That's a bro moment.
Dude, it's just so good,
It's like, my name is Deez. Deez what?
Deez
nuts!
Yeah,
I feel we all have like Chris Farley energy in us, like 24/7.
Oh, dude, 100%. But like just to see that kind of joke keep going around, it's so good, man. It's like, dude, he did so much for the comedy world. That like the more I think about it, because now I've been listening to a lot more comedians on their podcasts, many thanks to you, Danny, but yeah, I'm just like, wow, there's so much to take apart here that a lot of people were like, hey, that's cool, I'm gonna adopt that and use that and it's gonna work for me. It's not like a copy and paste. It's like, no, I'm gonna take what I like most from these people and try to incorporate it in my bits. I think I said this offline. Adam Sandler had wanted him to be in Grown Ups, and I could just imagine what that would have been like for him to be there.
Okay, the first thought in my head, and it kind of saddens me, because I kind of want him to be like with the rest of the dads, but I feel like he'd be that one friend who never who didn't find like a wife and didn't have kids, and he was just like pretty much the same. That kind of character,
Isn't that
you know?
David Spade's character?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That'd be good. That would have been. Oh man,
It would have been great.
that would have been great. Yeah.
You know, and I can totally see why Sandler didn't want to do the movie for a long time because of it. Like just watching, and I think I stopped it the stream when Adam was really like talking some more in there. But you can see the pain in his face. Like, dude, I love this guy. Like that was my boy. You know, and like
remember his special, the song he did like at the end of it.
Oh, yep.
And
Yeah, that was a good song.
that was a good song. It had a lot of emotion behind it.
Mm-hmm.
This guy had so much respect and so much love for Chris Farley. It's not even only him, but everybody in like the Happy Madison gang. You know, like the Chris Rock, fucking David Spade, fucking Adam Sandler. Yeah, dude. It's really like I want to say like they're each of them are carrying the legacy of him because they're all still prominent like comedians too. So it's like willingly or not, like the spirit of Chris Farley lives on
100%
in all of them.
100%.
And then due to that, because they're showing us their entertainment, it's like maybe because we were fans before we decided to do this podcast, but it's like we that kind of humor doesn't go unnoticed when somebody else does it, and it's kind of like a Chris Farley-esque thing. It's like we put his name on like a certain type of comedy, you know?
Exactly. You know, and
so he's like that iconic funny fat guy.
100%. Yeah, and I want to say that there's even a lot of points like, you know, when we did the Adam Sandler episode where I definitely thought of like, dude, like I feel Chris Farley energy from that way that he's doing something, right? Because it's there, the loud obnoxiousness, you know, and the way that he throws it all together. It's like, dude, I see it so much, you know, and it's so cool, right? Like you respect somebody so much that in some way you're like, I kind of want to imitate that, you know, but to do you honor for it, right? And I think I've heard it somewhere a long time ago. Oh, well, I don't want to say where I heard it from because I don't know. That was a bad time in my life. But I did hear that imitation is the highest form of flattery. So for them to just kind of continuously do this thing, you know, like for him, in remembrance of him, it's just so cool.
Yeah, he's not forgotten, for sure.
The one thing that had got me watching the documentary was I didn't know him and Mike Myers were so close. Before Mike Myers got signed on to SNL, he was with Chris Farley in their small town of wherever I think it was somewhere in Chicago, that they were like at this theater studio and like doing all these bits like every week or something. And then Mike went over to SNL and they had asked him like, hey, who would you fucking want to bring with you? Like, who would you recommend? He's like, dude, you need this guy. You need this dude here now. And that was kind of something that's kind of like threw me for a loop because I always forget that Mike Myers did do SNL for a long time and that he was like a pretty good comic. And just to kind of see how Chris Farley had built his world from the ground up and like with all these people, like, oh wow, you weren't just funny in your own way. Like you actually had the knowledge of theater behind you to like back all that up. Like you were able to do all these crazy things, you know, like even when he was on drugs and like doing bits on SNL or like really fucked up, he would go out, kill it, come back and like continue on more, kind of like very Bert Kreischer-esque, you know. That's a big fucking mood. I guess just seeing the documentary for me, from my own eyes, like I said, I was always a fan of Chris Farley, like ever since I first saw him. I think my first movie I saw him in was Beverly Hills Ninja, like a long time ago. And just kind of seeing his history, it made me really appreciate him more than I already did. Which I guess that comes to the territory of like, well, if you want to know about something, you're going to do the homework for it. You're going to understand the ins and outs, you know, and it kind of makes more sense in that realm. And it was just really cool. It was nice. I highly recommend that. I think you missed most of it, Gerry, but definitely give it a watch.
Yeah, after this, I'm probably just going to give it a watch because I've been watching more documentaries as of late. And especially when they're okay. No, not especially because like I have a friend who's been sending me like conspiracy theory hour-long fucking documentaries. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
buddy.
okay.
Do you put on the tinfoil hat when you watch them? Because if not, you're
Dude,
doing
I
it wrong.
have to, man, because otherwise I feel this buzzing noise behind my eyes.
Dude, that's
It
where all the
doesn't feel
tinfoil's
weird.
gone. I knew it. It's
You
okay.
know?
It's okay. I do it too.
Sorry, dude. It's just like,
Dude, when I have to,
you know?
when I watch the Kingdom Hearts lore videos, I have to put the tinfoil hat on sometimes because it's just those theories get fucking crazy, man.
But yeah, like, fucking, especially like Chris Farley, because that's a name that's been around like most of my life. You know.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys ever saw those commercials too, but like, when they would sell like on the infomercials the best of Saturday Night Live, and you just see Chris Farley do that fucking the motivational speaker fucking.
Oh, the Matt Foley guy.
Yeah, the Matt Foley guy.
Like
that's where I got
You're gonna
him.
live
Like,
in a van by
how are
the
you gonna-
river.
How are you gonna get back on track, you ass? That's one of those memories in my head that's like have been cemented there since like fucking, I guess 1999, 2000, the early 2000s or the beginning of the 19th century, and just like the amount of like want is there just to watch this now. So like I gotta really buckle down. I didn't even know there was a documentary until Adam mentioned it like a few weeks ago, and it's just one of those things that like you put it to the side and you're gonna watch later.
Right.
But that for sure, I think it moved up a list. It's right up there next to the new season of Fuck That's Delicious. I'm fucking plugging other things right now, dude. I'm sorry. This is about Chris Farley.
Hey, dude, that's fine, man. Hey, look, dude. Whatever you feel works with the situation, let's go. Dude, I think last month I had to fucking take a shit. I had to walk away to take a shit. Jesus Christ, can't fucking talk. English is hard, dude.
Yeah, that's hard, bro.
I guess the other thing for me is that just rewatching the comedy ones, the comedy films, you just don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, the story doesn't have to be great. It's the bits I care about. If you can do the bit well while giving like the small fraction of what you're trying to get across, and the bits well, that's fine. I'll take it. But I think just there's not a lot of comics out there that can't do that. And like I take that statement from, there was an episode of Tim Dillon's podcast where he said that too. He'd mainly said it about the SNL crew. Like there's certain actors in there that are just kind of like, he's like, that's not a comedian, dude. That's not a real bit. Like there's no passion in there for the actual joke. You try too hard to like get your point across. It's like that's not how that works.
That's a good word to describe Chris Farley, the passion.
Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. He had the passion there. Like you can see it in the way that he moved, and that's where I bring back my statement where like he wasn't just funny. Like he had the knowledge to
comedy.
To
Comedy's
deliver
a bunch of things. Comedy's like a bunch of different aspects put together. It's like you got your wordsmiths, right? You have to like kind of put together a story or put together a bit that's like that'll not really knock them dead, but put a smile on their face. And then you got like the physical humor, which is like you just moving around and just fucking like and doing like either like crazy shit or just like moving your hands. Like if it matches with what you're talking about, then like yeah, you're gonna get like a chuckle or two. Then you got like the volume of your voice and like it's comedy's a fucking it's literally a formula, dude. Some people got to figure it out. Some people are missing something, but it's like Chris Farley, like he's been excelling in everything, dude. It sucks because like back then, I don't know how it is. I don't know so much about now anymore, but back then, weight equaled funny too. So that was I feel like that was like a factor too for Chris Farley just to become funny on his own. But if he were alive now, that part wouldn't matter. Because like he's just naturally funny.
Exactly.
And he can throw down on like situational humor. Like he would be able to,
He's the tamer version of Tim Dillon.
Yes.
Like they both have the same kind of energy, but Tim Dillon, he likes to go hard into what he talks about.
Oh yeah.
That's another thing I kind of wanted to say too. Like I feel like as sad as it is to say. And as much as I don't want to like believe in myself, I feel like comedy is gonna go that way where it's just gonna like like not really disappear so much as like morph into something else, because like things that were funny back then, like the years that we weren't around, or I should say like years before we were born, and then like a little bit like when we were kids or babies, like
you mean like
I feel like that was a golden era of comedy, because like you could say so many things and then just like get away with it because it's like it's supposed to be funny, you know. If it's not funny, then you're just being an asshole. That's what it is.
Dude, what do we say
but
all
nowadays,
the time,
Danny? But nowadays we can't, or the comedian can't. They can't test that. They can't say something and then just to test the waters, you know, to see like how bad that joke is. Like I'm gonna take social media for example. Like if they put it in social media or something, like some kind of bit, like it might not receive well.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the case now, and then it was back then, because in social media now you got like everybody just like reacting to do something, or to the bit, let's say, and like right there it's kind of almost instantaneous, like, oh, this is gonna work. Whereas back then you just had to like try it out. And for Chris Farley, all that shit was like, I don't know if he ever did stand up. I think he was just an actor, was he?
I think if there was any stand up he did, it was when he was in Chicago before he got to SNL.
Yeah, all the old school comedic actors, they would do stand up. You wouldn't know because of how big they are as comedic actors. You know, like Rob Schneider, like he just did an hour special last year. You know, I'm like, oh wait, not only is he doing stand up, but he was doing it again.
Right.
Yeah. It's just one of those things you don't think of when you think of these big actors.
Right. I feel like it's kind of like a rite of passage, essentially. You know, like
when Adam Sandler did his, it was like, what? I forgot he was a stand-up. He did stand-up before fucking acting.
Or like Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, or like Chris Rock. It's like a pleasant surprise, because like they're going back to their roots, or shit, they've been there this whole time. They've just been writing for like years.
Exactly.
I don't know.
You know,
well,
like,
I think I know for me, like I didn't really watch stand-up until like years later, after watching all of these comedians be actors.
I've been with George Lopez for like the longest time, dude. Like that shit.
Oh yeah, George Lopez, of course.
That shit ran in my family, dude. Like before I even hit my like centuries, like 10, 11, 12, I've been listening to him and his old like comedy style and shit. And it, like, after listening to him on Tiger Belly, it doesn't fucking change, dude. It's the same shit as it was back then. But I'm not saying like he's reprocessing old bits. I'm saying like the attitude is still there, you know. Mm-hmm. And if there's one thing that really sets apart comedians from other comedians, it's their attitude. 100%. And I feel like Chris Farley had that like sort of like I don't know if it was that way on Saturday Night Live, but everybody's got their demons. Like what you said with Black Sheep, and like his mm-hmm. homage to his family, mm-hmm. and like how he was playing himself, being anxious. That like it sucks, but like most comedians that have some kind of debilitation like that, I don't want to say debilitation, but I don't know any other word right now.
I think that's a good word.
Like,
I think I know what it means.
They're funnier, bro.
Yeah. Well, you know,
like they have the pain, which like they turn it into humor, and it's like that's genius. Like, I don't know about you guys, but just the fact that you can do that, where instead I just sulk in my own emotions. Like, this guy is still out there just like living in a van at the edge of the river. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's worth to be said though, you know, like if you can recycle all that into something else, you know, like Robin Williams, again, another guy who did a lot of good stand up, you know.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. Richard Pryor.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. You know, like I grew up watching more Richard Pryor than anybody, and you know, that at the time, because that's all my dad talked about. And then I started kind of seeing other comedic actors. I'm like, oh, you know, they probably have stand up. I'll see it someday, you know. And now that I've gone back over the last 2 years, like I saw a lot of Eddie Murphy stand up, which is fucking great. You know, and then just all the other like common age comedians that we know and talk about.
But I think that yeah, for sure. Sorry.
No, it's okay. What was I talking? Oh, it's okay.
No, but the I guess the most shocking one for me would be Bob Saget.
Oh, dude, yeah, man.
That shit, like when I heard him stand up, like after the Full House deal, I'm like, what? But did he do stand up before that, or was it like after?
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, because there's
that
I don't know if we got to that point in the documentary, but he is in there too, and he talks about him being on SNL and like his experience with Chris Farley, and I think he touches on how the comedy he did before was always very different when he was with Chris, because he was like this immovable force that when you were there with him in a bit, it took everything in you, I'd like to not bust up laughing and like break character and just kind of like move, like navigate around him, because he was the one who like took charge of everything. Like at the end of the documentary, there's one, I think they said they were filming for either Black Sheep or Tommy Boy, where Chris was flying back every week between Canada and fucking New York. And he goes on a bit that Adam Sandler asked him for one line. And he'd steal, like, it's supposed to be fucking Adam Sandler's like, oh, this is my bit, I'm going to be the funny guy, blah, 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 blah. And then Chris Farley is like, fuck you, I'm going to be loud and obnoxious, I'm taking the fucking stage, you know? And just, like, to see them have to navigate around him when it's not even his bit, it's like, dude, that's so good, that's so powerful, you know? Like, and not everybody can do that, because the other people are going to be like, well, what the fuck's your problem, you know? But when I think
it goes back to respect, too.
Exactly, you know? And a lot of the thing, well, they say this a lot in documentary, where it's like Chris was moving monuments in the comedy world, in the acting world. Like, he was just climbing up faster than anybody, you know? And there was nobody who would ever looked at him and like, you know, you didn't deserve this. Like, everybody's like, dude, no, like, you're great. You are amazing. This was well worth it for you, because everything that he went through, everything that he did to get there, the guy earned it. Chris fucking Farley. Fuck it, dude. I might want to rewatch Beverly Hills Ninja later.
Yeah, I've been meaning to rewatch Black Sheep and Tommy Boy back to back. I don't know, differences too. Like, I want to see that Black Sheep though. I want to see what you saw, where you kind of just see more acting out of Chris Farley than.
Well, yeah, with those movies too, it's you know, with David Spade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know, like they were really close.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
During that time,
they were good. They were really good. They were a really good duo.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they did those movies back to back too. I'm pretty sure they were like.
I would believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that too. That's I actually believe if they actually filmed the same at the same time as the other movie.
I wouldn't put it past them. Hold on, I'm gonna fact check it right now. Let's see.
Like, I like both of those movies, but I don't remember what the differences are. Yeah.
Okay, Tommy Boy was in 95. Black Sheep was in 96.
Yep, that sounds back to back.
Yeah, that's
literally back to back.
That's back to back.
Shit. Only leave it up to Chris Farley and David Spade to play a movie that was played twice, two different names, and they both got paid for both of them.
I really do like Black Sheep a lot more, just because of there's just a lot of scenes where you just see this whole other side of Chris Farley. Like, it's crazy. Like, David Spade kind of plays the same asshole in both of them, which is fine. Whatever, it works out.
That's David Spade.
You know, but Chris Farley's character is like vastly different. Like, yeah, there's the moronic slapstick stuff that happens, you know, and there is one trope that's significant in all three of those movies, which is like somebody getting stuck onto a moving vehicle and then they're getting dragged, which is it's pretty great. But just like, there's just a lot more seriousness in Chris's character in Black Sheep, which I think is great. Like, that was, and I keep saying it, but it's so true. That's his whole range right there. Like, I can do everything. It very much reminds me of like how I never really thought Adam Sandler could go so serious until I mean, Uncut Gems is one thing, right? But the one movie that I'm thinking of,
movie. That's not even Adam Sandler.
No, dude. But the movie I'm thinking of that really got me like that was the one you told me about, Danny. Fucking
Rain on Me.
Yeah, dude.
Don't Rain on Me.
That shit.
Spanglish though too. Yeah.
Those ones, dude. But Rain on Me specifically, I was like, wow, dude. I already liked you. I already knew you could do a lot of crazy shit, but that was just something totally different for me, at least. I don't know why that reminded me of Ben Stiller. We should do Ben Stiller one of these too.
Hey, that's an idea. I was thinking of Mike Myers, but Ben
Have
Stiller
you
too.
seen The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, Adam?
Fucking not yet, dude.
I'll pop
You
it in
keep
right
talking
now,
about
dude.
that, too.
I'll pop it in right now.
I like that movie a lot. That's a good one.
I think you gave me the DVD for that one too, right?
Yeah, you should have it.
I'll pop it in. I'm sure I'll like it. You're not the only person who's told me about The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Whatever the fuck his name is.
Walter Mitty.
Walter Mitty, there you go.
Yeah,
Makes you
I've
wanna
been
go
hyping
outside.
that movie up a lot, dude.
What'd you say?
It makes you want to go outside.
Dude, I already go outside. I look outside the window every day. I fucking pop
No,
out.
but like you want to go out there.
I stretch my legs.
You want to go out there.
Like to the sidewalk? Or like
You want to go outside.
Yeah, I'm down to watch that one. That's it's about time I fucking listen to Danny.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
I listen to him sometimes, you know. No, I listen. Look, I listen to Danny a lot more than he thinks I do.
We can't say that about Falcon Winter Soldier because we both. I feel like all three of us just
That
came
shit
at that
was
point
hot
at the same
ass.
time when we all watched it. Like no words were spoken between us, and we all just decided the movie. This show is.
Yeah, but I kept going.
Wow.
He took one for the team, dude. It's not the first time. He's done
Man,
it before.
they're doing watch parties in Bardock's stream. So fucking Bardock's Discord. I just saw
said,
that right now.
I said on my Marvel Talk episode, I'm glad people like it, but
Yeah, dude. Me too. I'm glad other people like it. It's not for me. Go watch Invincible instead. It's great. Is that the last episode for the season, or do they have more?
there should be 2 more.
Go watch
It was
Invincible,
episode
everybody.
6, right?
7.
So there's 1 more.
Fuck, dude. All right, cool. Guess I'm gonna start reading comics next
Next week's
weekend.
the finale. Yeah.
All right, that's good to know. I think the documentary was really nice. Like it wasn't sad at the end, right? It's kind of like, oh wow, you can see the emotion in everybody's face. We're not going to drag this out. It was really, I think, like the last 5-10 minutes where they're like, yeah, he overdosed. This is how we feel about it. But we all saw it coming. Like there's a point where Mike Myers is like, I had to tell him, like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, seriously, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you can't keep doing this to yourself, you know? And that he wasn't the only one to tell him that. Like, everybody told him, they're like, hey man, like, this is hard on you. Like, what you're doing to yourself, making your life harder than it has to be, you know? But I mean, it sucks. Once you get caught in that loop, it's very hard to get out, you know, no matter how many times you go to rehab and like do all of those kinds of things. Like that's just hard.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate side of that era of comedians.
Honestly, dude, that pic was circling 4chan for a hot minute, and like,
I'm glad I didn't.
Way back when,
I'm
dude.
glad I've never seen it. I think Oscar mentioned it to me earlier, and I was like, I don't even want to know.
it's like what you expected, even though if you don't want to expect it, but
I
it's still pretty bad. Like I wish I didn't see that picture. It's really it sucks so much because every time I look at Chris Farley, I think about that picture.
Yeah,
And it's bad, dude.
Damn.
But like this guy has some demons for sure. If he wanted to keep the mind going or keep the party going, because fuck, man, he would have done some great things for sure. He'd probably trying to lose weight. I don't know, dude.
Dude, I would love to see him and Tim Dillon do a fucking combo wombo. That would have been great.
That would be great, dude. Just be on these podcasts with all these other comedians right now, dude.
Could you imagine if he met Joey?
Yeah.
Fuck, bro.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did meet, dude. They were both in fucking, I think, New York at the same time.
Man, you know, it would be great if he was on a podcast these days, because my favorite thing right now for comedian podcasts, when comedians just geek out about the structure of comedy and break down the
Oh my
process.
god.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that. Like, and they always say, like, I hope this isn't boring. I'm like, dude, this is very, very fascinating.
Fuck
Like,
yeah, man.
Always love that. Yeah.
I think
Like how fuck, man. It's so good.
I think there was one in the last like 2 or 3 weeks because I've been listening to a lot more of Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast, and I think there was one in the last 2 or 3 weeks where he was talking about that. He was geeking out about these old head comics, like, and some of them I wasn't familiar with, and then he was kind of breaking down. He's like, dude, it's crazy. Like the whole science behind the structure of being a comedian is so vastly different, across all kinds of people because they could have grown up with more dry humor, versus somebody who came up with a little bit more slapstick or like whatever, all the different kinds of genres that are out there. And that's where I love what you already do. I love what everybody already does. All these comedians do on the regular podcast. I think it's great. I think it works fucking phenomenally. Like, keep doing it. To add to what Danny said, when they break it down like that, I'm like, dude, this is science. Like, there is so much more involved in it. And like me really liking theater and doing a lot of theater when I was younger, like when I hear that, I'm like, oh, okay. It makes so much more sense to me. I'm like, that's why when I was told to do certain things in certain roles, I'm like, why would, like, I couldn't comprehend that. I was a dumb kid, dude. I wasn't that smart.
Hey.
But,
who was it? I think it was Tom, but he was saying like the night, you know how everybody who started at the comedy club saying that we had to spend like a lot of hours at the comedy club and shit.
Yep. Right.
In Hollywood. I think he said it. He's like, when I say the comedy club, I mean the parking lot of the comedy club. Because like after all the sets and everything, everybody was just chilling outside and just shooting the shit. I'm like, dude, why does that remind us of us?
Oh, dude, 110%. I think that was the one where he was on Tiger Belly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I had to re-listen to the last half of it twice. Because
I would just love, because I want to go right now. But like after all this COVID bullshit is over, and if clubs open up like as they do, like comedy clubs open up like normal,
I'm super down.
Kind of doubt it. Yeah, but like I just want to go. I would love to have gone and seen if Chris Farley were still here, like the kind of conversations he'd strike up with like everybody. I want to go anyway. Like I just want to be there just to be like I'm part of the picture.
Right. Well, see, I think that's why I like a lot of Uncle Joey's joint, because when he starts reminiscing on all these stories that he's had, like so at the comedy club and like with certain people and like some of the guests that he's had on the show, I'm like, wow, dude, that sounds like better than actually seeing the set sometimes.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, you hear the shit that they can't say.
Right, exactly.
Like I mean, there's that, but like, I mean, like certain ideals that they can't really say on stage because of the crowd, or like the more deeper personal like shit,
Right, exactly. Oh, okay, I remember now.
Hell yeah.
Okay, well, I remembered one of the things. This is why Danny and I always say, just wake me up when the world isn't as sensitive as it is today, dude. Because back in the day, you could say whatever the fuck you wanted, and everybody knows it's a joke. It's not real. It's a joke.
Yeah, if you're on stage, you have a microphone, don't take anything you're saying seriously. Yeah.
Exactly. And I showed you some of Sam Morrill's rooftop show, Gerry. Last month we went to go see Clam.
Yeah.
But he's a great example of that. He's like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm going to say whatever I'm going to say, and I know it's funny. And I'll get one guy laughing in the crowd. And that's the guy that the show's for. That's the guy who gets it. That's the girl who gets it. That's the lady who gets it, who understands, like, yeah, dude, I'm here for comedy. I'm not here to like babble about political bullshit. Like, sure, I'll hint it in a bit somewhere, but it's meant to be funny. It's not meant to be taken seriously. And I think Chris Farley would have done a great job at it. I mean, just a bit alone where he's Matt Foley with David Spade, and I think I remember now her name is Christina Applegate, where he's like, oh, you want to be a writer, but you're over here rolling doobies with your paper, like a kind of serious thing.
Damn, that was Christina Applegate.
I think so, but I probably have her name wrong. If I do, I'm sorry.
It is, but it's crazy. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead with your point.
But yeah, it's like, yeah, at that time, pot probably was a big deal, People are starting to be like, oh, you're slinging pot, like this, and that, like you're doing drugs, you're not going to amount to nothing, all that kind of stuff. But it turns into something funny. And then at the end of it, it's like, we're never going to smoke pot again.
Do you remember what year that skit is from? Or have you checked it?
It doesn't date it, but I can try and find out.
What's his name? What was that? No, what was the dude's name? Mark Foley?
It was Matt Foley.
Matt Foley.
So it'd be the Matt Foley, David Spade, Christina Applegate bit. Yeah, man, it's just, you can't get away with that kind of stuff anymore, which is unfortunate because that's what comedy's meant to do, right? It's meant to take something serious, make it lighthearted, like make you laugh about it, like,
or just twist it into something absurd,
right? And
something comedically absurd,
and I feel like the comics that have a lot of issues, whatever those issues may be, like we'll take Chris is a great example, like his anxiety, his low self-esteem, and he turned it into like a beautiful weapon that worked out in so many different areas of what he was doing.
Fucking chef's kiss.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like what Bill Burr said to Bert on their podcast one time. He was just like, Bert, we're not doing this because we want to, kind of thing. Or no, we're not doing this because we like this, because it's like, oh, is he a good comedian? He's got problems.
Yeah, exactly. I think Burr said it one time on the Monday Morning Podcast. He goes, "You think we comedians have a good fucking life? No, we don't. We hate the shit that we do, but we do it because we're fucking good at it, and that's how it's gonna be."
Here's to Chris Farley, huh?
Ah, dude, here's to Chris Farley, dude. I think doing these episodes on like a comedian or like an actor is really fun for me because I usually watch all the movies that I kind of put out into the chat, and then you guys give me back some ideas, and I'll go and grab them off Amazon. So just like doing that homework and seeing like the process of the person is just it's so fun to see, like, because sometimes, and I think this is just a theater background in me, I can start to like dissect it. I'm like, oh, okay, you're doing this because of this reason, right? Or trying to like pinpoint exactly where the direction is going to go before I even see the punchline. And just it's so fun because you can see the gears turning even though it's improv like 90% of the time.
Especially if they're movies you've already seen and kind of know by heart what the gist of the movie is.
Yeah, the
like
fun
the
part's
important
breaking
scenes.
down the structure.
If anything, it gets harder when it's a movie you haven't seen. Whatever I was catching of Beverly Hills Ninja, I mean, I could analyze what I saw, but I wasn't watching it in that aspect. You know what I mean?
Right,
like I was watching it because it was my first time watching it,
right?
And I was kind of watching it for what it is versus like what's behind the scenes, or what's allegedly behind the scenes in like
exactly
in like per actor's timeline, like them in that movie versus in the other movies. It's like a lot of it goes into account.
100%. Yeah, and I think for me personally, like if I'm seeing a movie I haven't seen for the first time, like let's take Annihilation for a good example. Like I kind of had an idea based on what you told me about it, Danny, but I didn't really start like obviously I would try to figure out what's going to happen next, like I do with any new movie I'm watching or any new show or anything that I'm reading that's new. But I won't really start critically thinking about it until afterwards, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense as to why this direction went that way. And I think that's the fun part for me, right? And then if I decide to go watch it a second time, then I'm being a little bit more critical. I'm like, okay, why was it written to play out like that versus any other route? Like what works better for the narrative? What works better for, the actors personally, because they're given a character, they got to go and lay it out as best as they can.
Oh yeah, man. Like when I watched it with you, that was my second viewing of the movie. And like, I was picking up stuff I didn't previously because I already knew what was going to happen. And it's like, okay, now I could actually sit down and think about what just happened because I know the context to a degree.
Trees Lounge for me, I've seen the movie like over 40 times, and like every time I watch it, there's still something that I'm like, wow, okay, that was a really good idea. Like that was really well played out. That's still Tommy's kid at the end of the movie. I'm still saying that. You
can look at it closer on what, like the finer niche details of like that particular scene, and why he decided to act this way during that scene when he could have like dumbed it down or like give it more, make it more intense. It's like every single detail. Like you can. It's like I bet you can fucking. I mean, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be able to like retell the story like
100%, right?
100%, right? But you can say like why they're that particular, why the gist is that particular way.
Mm-hmm. I think the other thing too is, and this is just to quote a line in Big Fish, which we should probably do that one day. Which
great
is
movie.
Dude, it's so good. That's like my next like the highest viewed movie besides Trees Lounge. But there's a line in there, I think it's towards the end, where the son, Will, he says, you ever hear a joke so many times you forgot why it's funny, and then you hear it again and you're like, oh wow, that is why it's funny, you know? I think that's why I liked Chris Farley so much, is that when I would see him, I'm like, wow, you're great, you're hilarious. And then I'd kind of forget about him for a little bit. And then I'd see him again, and I'm like, wait, why are you funny? Like, again, stupid kid, you know, I sniff glue. And then I'd see what he did. I'm like, wow, that's great. Like, you're so good at what you're doing, and it makes me laugh. Like, when we watched Beverly Hills Ninja last week, I was like, dude, I love this movie. I'm over here fucking dying because everything that's being done is just, it's so good. It's so pure. It's so raw. And I think that's what a lot of comedians like need to really like kind of like put into the belt. It's like, remember why it's funny. Remember why the bit is good. Remember why I do the things that I do. Why I tell the story in this manner. Chris fucking Farley, man.
He's a fat guy in a little coat.
Dude, that's
okay. Why it was funny.
Okay, hold on. So for the longest time, I think for maybe like a good 5-6 years, I would always say that, right? Like to like in family settings, like for no reason, like, you know, fat guy in a little coat. And then it wasn't until I watched Black Sheep the other day where I had to pause it. I was crying. I was like, that's where I fucking got it from, dude. And I could never put two and two together. And that's just like the purity of it, like the gold. And anything that's funny, anything that's delivered super well, like it becomes iconic. It becomes something very well worth remembering. If any of you guys would like to leave an email, that is hold on, let me get it right. Oh, right here. I got it. It's the Bigfmoodpodcast at gmail.com. And then you can let us know if your question, comment, concern, idea is a big fucking mood. And if it's not, I'll very gently let you down. But I'll talk about it. If it's worth talking about, no, I'll talk about it. But thanks, guys. Definitely watch, go on a Chris Farley binge. It's great. The movies are very cheap on Amazon Prime Video, and there's actually a few of them on Paramount Plus if you do have that. I think that's where Tommy Boy, Coneheads, I think Black Sheep too, are at. But yeah, that's where I got everything from. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will definitely catch you next time.